Cool. We are live now. Just waiting. Okay, I'm just looking at it. Okay, our live is started or not? Okay, yeah, it is started. Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. Okay, are they excited already? Yes, we are also excited. I'm just looking at let few more people to join. Okay, just guys, please let us know whether you are able to hear us properly or not. I mean, sound quality, audio quality is perfect.
Yeah, mic testing from my side as well. Mic testing 1 2 3 check.
Yep. Trupti, hello everyone. Hi Shashank and Anshul. Hey Trupti. Great. I think we both are audible. So we'll just wait for like probably 1 more minute to let other people join, and we will start. So again, the agenda of this entire live stream is to know something from the like software engineer who is actually working in Google, because sometimes people have lots of doubt regarding the interview process, how they shortlist, what is the process, how to prepare, and like lots of queries, right? So you have like in total 1 hour in this live stream. Whatever questions you have, feel free to ask, and Anshul definitely will try his level best to answer all your questions. So, and just one more thing, guys. Whenever you feel that in an indirect way your question has already been answered, so please don't spam your question again and again, because in that case we will miss some important questions, right? Nilesh, hey, Shashank, hi Nilesh, hi everyone. All right, so I think we can start. So I think Anshul, you can give your introduction if people, I mean, if they don't know about you. I'm pretty sure like most of the people might be following you on LinkedIn. If not, guys, you can check his LinkedIn. He keeps on posting some really good stuff regarding the hiring interview and his experience as a software engineer. Over to you, Anshul.
Yep, yeah. Thanks a lot, Shashank Bhaiya, for inviting me. First of all, it's good to be back on your channel once again.
Yep,
Okay, so
really
guys who are
excited.
not following his channel or subscribing his channel, please subscribe it and please follow him on LinkedIn. I know 99% of the traffic will be from your LinkedIn only, but still, those 1% also, why not? So yeah,
Great.
those who don't know about me, so hi, my name is Anshul, and I joined Google in August 2020. That's last year, and it's been one hell of a year at Google. In a positive way. First of all, yeah, in a positive way. But work from home, obviously, so that is why hell of a year. But the experience has been wonderful. I have been working in Google Cloud product in the cloud search team as a software engineer, and have already launched one of the features into the product and looking to work on a couple of features more in the next quarter or so. So yeah, work is very dynamic, it's very satisfying, and challenging at the same time. And about my education, I graduated from Triple IT Hyderabad. So yeah, I think that's all about me in brief.
Okay. So I think we have the questions on our chat box, Anshul. So first question here, Mayank, is CP required to get selected in Google? I think that's like very common question, right?
Yep, that's right. I mean, hey, hi, Mayank, first of all. Okay, yeah. So CP is not mandatory to get selected into Google, but data structures and algorithms is surely required. And CP, as I keep recommending everyone, CP is one of the best ways, to refine your data structures and algorithm skills. Because होता क्या है कि in an interview, I mean, you are given 45 minutes to solve one question or follow-up question or whatever is going to be asked by the interviewer, and the environment in competitive programming contests, it is really same as a technical interview, like some time constraint, you have to solve questions accurately, make sure all the edge cases are tested and all of that, so that helps you to train for your technical interviews. But there is one slight difference between an interview and contest. That is, you don't have to communicate in a contest, but in an interview that becomes the most critical part, because even if you are able to solve the question properly, if you don't communicate it properly, it's all good for nothing. But talking about one more program, which is a Kickstart program. So I have heard a lot of times where people have been hired directly or they have been selected for technical interviews directly from Kickstart. So if you have like put in an amazing performance in Kickstart, so those who don't know what Kickstart is, that you can just Google it up, like Google Kickstart. So there are almost 9 to 10 rounds in an year, starting from Google Kickstart round A to I, J, K, and so on. So every year Google has this round. So if you perform amazingly well, the recruiters will notice you directly from the results and approach you for an offer or like approach you for a technical interview. So if
Okay.
you get selected in the technical interview, then welcome to Google.
Great, great. I think Mayank, your question has been answered now, and the same Gurpreet. I guess you also had the same question. CP required Google. Let's move on to the next one. So, question from Rahul Pawar: how to balance development and competitive programming, and how consistent in this journey? I mean, he's basically asking for the consistency and how to make a balance between development CP side.
So hi Rahul. So to let you know my story, okay, how I started with both of these journeys, and to be frank with you, I'm not master of either one of them. Okay, so don't take my word, but I tried both of them, so I think I am eligible for this answer. Uh, so never start two things together. First of all, if you're just going to get started into development and competitive programming both at the same time, then don't go for that approach. Try to start with the competitive programming first. That is what I would say. You know, because it takes a little more ignition as compared to web development. That's what I feel, because people get little demotivated and all of that in competitive programming, because in development you're not competing with anyone, but in CP, like, you will see the ranks. Okay, 8,000 rank aaya pehli contest mein, you feel demotivated and all of that. So little bit more of ignition is required. So earlier you start, it's better for you. That is the purpose I'm saying, मतलब उसको पहले start करो. Okay,
Mhm.
and you will not see results in the first 6 months. Okay, so don't feel disheartened कि मतलब 5 contest दे दी, rating तो मतलब गिरती जा रही है. गिरेगी गिरेगी, ठीक है. स्टॉक मार्केट अगर तुम लोग फॉलो नहीं करते हो तो गिरता है, फिर वापस वो जैसे बढ़ता है ना, इट्स अनएक्सपेक्टेड, ठीक है.
Yep.
So be consistent, or how to be consistent was the exact question. So I will tell you how to be consistent with this. So कोड फोर्सेस और कोड शेफ का अकाउंट नहीं बनाया तो बना दो, ठीक है, फॉर सीपी. एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व द इजी लेवल प्रॉब्लम्स ओनली. लाइक टॉकिंग अबाउट कोड शेफ, लाइक देयर आर केक वॉक प्रॉब्लम्स एंड इजी लेवल प्रॉब्लम्स, उनको ही पहले सॉल्व करो. कोड फोर्सेस सिर्फ बात करें तो सिर्फ ए लेवल प्रॉब्लम्स ही सॉल्व करो उसमें, ठीक है. एंड द फर्स्ट स्टेप to like be familiar with CP is that try to be friends with the question. अगर तुम्हें क्वेश्चन से डर लगना लगेगा ना, तो फिर you will not be able to solve the problem. So first try to make friends with the question. Once you get familiar with the language of the question, तो धीरे धीरे कॉन्फिडेंस अपने आप ही बढ़ जाएगा, और फिर you will feel more confident to solve the problem, और फिर वो हो भी जाएगी. So I have seen in 90% of the cases that confidence वाला बंदा और confidence बिना वाला बंदा, ठीक है. So उसमें confidence जिसके पास होता है लेकिन skills कम होती है, he usually overtakes the other guy. So make sure
That's
you have confidence. तो अगर मोमेंटम लूज होता है तो गो बैक टू द ग्राउंड बेसिक्स. ए लेवल प्रॉब्लम शुरू करो, कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डअप करो, और फिर वापस ऊपर बढ़ो. एंड टॉकिंग अबाउट डेवलपमेंट, एक बार एक सीढ़ी तुमने सीपी वाली पकड़ ली, ठीक है, तो वो फिर ऑटो मोड पे चलती रहेगी. मतलब शाम को कॉन्टेस्ट होता है, दे दिया कॉन्टेस्ट. अगर कॉन्टेस्ट नहीं दे पाए तो वर्चुअल कॉन्टेस्ट दे दिया, ठीक है. सो वो फिर ऑटो मोड पे होता रहेगा 3-4 घंटे रोज के. तो डेवलपमेंट की बात आती है तो देर आर लॉट्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजीज, लॉट्स ऑफ फ्रेमवर्क्स, ठीक है. सो नोड जेएस है, रिएक्ट जेएस है, एंगुलर जेएस है, ये वो कुछ ना कुछ आता रहता है. नाउ आई एम आउट ऑफ टच विद न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज पोरिंग इन, बट Coursera है, Udemy है, they have a lot of great courses on web development. Coursera पे you can audit the course so that it's free of cost. Udemy पे it's really cheap, you can try out their courses like complete web development bootcamp. और try to solve the problems around you. मतलब तुम्हें कुछ problem face कर रहे हो रियल लाइफ में, तो उसको solve करने की कोशिश करो web development से. You can start onto your journey of open source development as well. मतलब if you're not able to define a problem कि क्या solve करूँ मैं यार, तो ओपन सोर्स डेवलपमेंट कर सकते हो. मतलब यू कैन चेक आउट द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट पीपल आर सॉल्विंग एंड जस्ट जंप ऑन टू द बैंडवैगन, राइट. सो फिर धीरे धीरे वो भी ऑटो मोड पे हो जाएगा, मतलब जैसे जैसे तुम उसमें ज्यादा टाइम कंट्रीब्यूट करोगे तो. बट द थिंग इज लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट सोचो, ठीक है. आई नो आई एम स्पीकिंग मोर लाइक एन इन्वेस्टर राइट नाउ because I started with stock market and all of that 6 months ago. But yeah, that's it. So long term investment की सोचो तो तुम्हें रिजल्ट्स टाइम के बाद, मतलब 4 साल बाद मिलेंगे, बढ़िया रिजल्ट.
That's true. That's true. And I think this was the important question to be answered as well, because lots of time people used to get confused. Like way to manage the time, whether to focus on the CP side or the development side. So I think the question is answered, and yeah, those were the great tips I think Anshul shared. And Pragnesh, I think your question is also answered. The similar question, like solving skills matter or having good development to get into Google. So we have a question from Trupti. She's I have 7 years of experience in .NET. Am I eligible to work in Google? Not sure. What do you say, Anshul? Like, do they work on the .NET side? I don't think so.
So I have not seen people working on .NET because Java and C++ are the major tech stacks when you talk about how the
Mhm.
servers work at Google. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, I think Trupti that I mean you won't have an experience in .NET. I mean just .NET. You will be working on some other technologies as well because like
Yeah.
अकेला .NET पे 7 years. I mean you would have felt bored as well. So तुमने कुछ ना कुछ मतलब आपने कुछ ना कुछ तो try किया ही होगा. And 7 years experience definitely that makes it worthy for you to work at Google. But make sure that you have experience with Java, C++, or Python like programming languages because they are supposed to be core languages at Google. वरना
Mhm.
मतलब there is no limitation of learning a new language because a person of your experience can quickly learn a new language. So yeah, that's it.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's move on to the next question. And this is, yeah, this one even I want to know, Anshul. So his name is interesting. Health is wealth. So he's actually asking, what is your work-life balance in Google? I mean, yeah, this is a good question.
I mean, work-life balance in work from home situations, to be honest with you, depends a lot on the person, okay, not on the company. Because the
Correct.
company gives us complete flexibility. Matlab, I will tell you my schedule right now. I wake up at 10 a.m. in the morning, okay, not an early riser nowadays, and I get to work at 11:30 something. Then matlab,
Mhm.
I check out mails and all of that, and then do some coding, do some reviews, code reviews, and all of that, and then go to lunch. And then there are some meetings to attend in the noon. If there are no meetings, I go on to my development part, like मतलब कुछ भी experiment करना है या कुछ develop code लिखना है तो वो करता हूँ. देन
Mhm.
मतलब थोड़ा टाइम पास भी करता हूँ वेब सीरीज वो बीच बीच में 20-25 मिनट देख लिया ऐसे करके और ऐसे चलता रहता है मतलब फिर डिनर हो गया फिर डिनर के बाद मैं वापस काम करना शुरू करता हूँ इट ऑलमोस्ट गोज टिल 2:33 a.m. इन द मॉर्निंग ओके
Whoa.
और फिर जा मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि वर्कलोड ज्यादा है ओके सो टू टेल यू दिस थिंग सो
It's
दैट इज
just,
व्हाट
yeah, your personal
मोटिवेट
choice. Like,
या
yeah.
इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द पर्सन मतलब
Yeah.
आई एम करंटली स्टक विद अ प्रॉब्लम और मैं उसको सॉल्व नहीं करता तब तक मेरे को नींद नहीं आती है ठीक है सो दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ पर्सन आई एम एंड टू लेट यू नो द ट्रूथ आई हैव स्टिल नॉट बीन एबल टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम बट 3 a.m. बैटरी कंप्लीटली डाउन हो जाती है तो फिर सोना तो पड़ता ही है so that
Mhm.
depends on the person okay but talking about Google they have no such restrictions मतलब मेरे को मीटिंग अटेंड करनी है नहीं करनी है इट्स माय चॉइस मेरे को कब काम
Mhm.
पे आना है कब काम पे नहीं आना है इट्स आल्सो माय चॉइस मेरे को डेडलाइंस क्या सेट करनी है इट्स माय चॉइस बट आई नीड टू कम्युनिकेट दैट पार्ट प्रॉपर्ली मतलब
Yeah.
एक कस्टमर को फीचर जाने वाला है इफ आई नॉट कम्युनिकेट इट प्रॉपर्ली देन आई एम अकाउंटेबल फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट and on my
Yeah.
behalf Google is accountable to the customer so it
Yep.
creates a bad name for Google not for me in front of the
Mhm.
customer so I need to communicate it properly that's the only thing required.
Yep, yep. Nah, that's great. So for me as well, like Anshul, I'm also a night owl. Mostly like the night person, right? I also used to sleep somewhere around 2. But that's okay. I mean, I've been into the hostel. I have lived the hostel life. So whoever have been into the hostels, they can definitely relate. For us, it's really hard to sleep by 11:30 p.m. or so.
Correct completely agree with you.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next question. So Joy Das, could you please share how interview rounds are like in Google? I think, yeah, that would be the important one for the freshers as well, to know how the interview round goes on, and like the entire process looks like.
Yeah, excellent question. So I will
Yeah.
not just answer this particular question मतलब मैं थोड़ा सा पहले का और बाद का मतलब ऐड करके आंसर करूंगा ताकि there are no क्वेश्चंस लाइक मतलब कैसे
Yeah.
रेज्यूमे क्या करना है मतलब वो रेज्यूमे से लेके सब एंड तक बता देता हूँ
Yep. Yep.
आंसर
That
ओके
would be good.
so currently university graduate 2022 positions are open okay if you have not checked check on to careers.google.com those positions are open right now for university graduate okay full time के लिए है ये internship के लिए नहीं है so you apply with your resume मतलब अब resume से apply कर दिया application fill up कर दी so there are two things you can ask for referral you can not ask for it जहाँ तक मैंने देखा है मतलब मैंने for example I'm just giving you an example Last year I gave referrals to almost 25 students. Out of them, one got hired. Okay, so ऐसा नहीं है कि
Nice.
मैंने रेफरल दे दिया तो वो सिलेक्ट हो ही जाएगा, सिलेक्ट हो ही जाएगी, ठीक है? ऐसा मतलब, एंड दैट पर्सन वाज अ बॉय, और एंड आई गिव लाइक ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ही था मेल एंड फीमेल कैंडिडेट्स का, तो ऐसा नहीं है. सो दे डोंट गिव प्रेफरेंस टू फीमेल कैंडिडेट्स, व्हिच इज अ कॉमन मिसकंसेप्शन इन कॉलेज.
Yeah, the
ओके,
diversity.
सो ऐसा नहीं होता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है. मैं भी ऐसा सोच रहा था, मतलब टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं भी कॉलेज में था तब ऐसा सोचता था, बट यू गेट टू नो द ग्राउंड ट्रुथ व्हेन यू कम एट द कंपनी. ऐसा नहीं
Yeah.
होता है, और ऐसा नहीं कि रेफरल मिल गया तो मतलब इंटरव्यू के लिए भी सिलेक्ट होंगे. इट्स नॉट द केस.
Mhm.
Many candidates have been rejected in the resume shortlisting only. So you can ask for a referral if you want. Referral मिलने के 30 दिन तक you can apply. In other words, ठीक है, अप्लाई करने के 30 दिन तक you can get the referral as well. मतलब पहले लो या बाद में लो, there is a 30-day window within which you can apply. पहले या बाद में doesn't matter. Okay. So once applied, a recruiter will be assigned to your application, and in many cases the recruiter have not been assigned. Like I'm talking about those 25 candidates, there are a few of them in which recruiter assign ही नहीं हुआ है, ठीक है?
Mhm.
सो इट कैन बी कि मतलब कोटा होता है, राइट? मतलब हायरिंग का तो कोटा फिलअप हो गया, तो देयर इज नो नीड टू असाइन द रिक्रूटर. So
Okay.
situations like that also happen. Okay,
Mhm.
so recruiter gets assigned, then your resume gets evaluated on different parameters. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ CGPA देख के shortlist किया. There are
Okay.
candidates having 6 CGPA also getting selected. Okay, this is the truth. So CGPA देखा, फिर cumulative assessment की, what's your work experience, what are your projects, how good is the data structures and algorithms, मतलब cumulative assessment हुआ, and it is
Mhm.
also given to the hiring committee for assessment. After getting selected, there is a short telephonic screening, which is usually done by like recruiter only, or in some cases by the engineer if they want to get to know you a little bit. Okay, so
Okay.
post the telephonic screening, which is usually easy. I mean, ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई competitive programming या ऐसा कोई question पूछ लिया 45 minutes का. It's just a short 20-25 minutes round. So
Okay.
उसके बाद after the telephonic screening you will get selected for the virtual on-sites. मतलब अभी तो virtual है, otherwise you would be going to Bangalore office or Hyderabad office, whichever it is. So
Mhm.
virtual on-sites हुई, उसमें usually for university graduates like full time role के लिए 4 से 5 interview you can expect. मेरे केस में there were 3 interviews because they got enough signals कि ठीक है मतलब ये बंदा काम कर सकता है, चलेगा ये गूगल में. तो मेरे में 3 इंटरव्यू में खत्म हो गया था. सो दैट वाज व्हाट फॉर मी. और इंटर्न्स के लिए देयर विल बी 2 राउंड्स. ओके, मतलब मैंने नहीं देखा 2 से ज्यादा राउंड होते हैं अनलेस देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन कि मतलब is he or she a good candidate or not, or a really bad candidate or not. Usually
Mhm.
99% 2 rounds, that's it. And in
Okay.
those technical rounds, okay, Joy, to answer your question in particular, how interview rounds are like, so I will tell you my experience of interview. मेरे प्लेसमेंट इंटरव्यूज रात को 12 बजे शुरू हुए थे और 4:30 को खत्म हुए थे सुबह, एक के
Okay.
बाद एक थे, बैक टू बैक, ठीक है? सो सो इंटरव्यू मतलब 3 ही लिए थे एज आई मेंशनड, एंड 45 मिनट्स के होते हैं. सो दे लेट यू नो मतलब 45 मिनट्स में दे इफ दे थिंक कि मतलब ये बंदा या बंदी मतलब सॉल्व नहीं कर पा रहा है, सो दे कीप ऑन पोकिंग
Mhm.
यू कि मतलब गो ऑन टू द कोडिंग पार्ट और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो आई विल टेल यू माय स्टोरी, ठीक है? सो
Mhm.
पहला राउंड था, उसमें क्वेश्चन पूछ ब्रेथ फर्स्ट सर्च के राउंड पूछा था इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, एंड आई
Mhm.
गेव अ डीपी सॉल्यूशन फर्स्ट. सो
Okay.
थोड़ा टाइम उसमें वेस्ट हुआ, 10 मिनट जितना वेस्ट हुआ. देन आई रियलाइज दैट ओके आई मेस्ड अप बिग टाइम. देन आई कम्युनिकेटेड दैट प्रॉपर्ली टू द इंटरव्यूअर. मतलब आई टोल्ड द इंटरव्यूअर दैट आई थिंक आई मेस्ड दिस अप एंड डायनामिक प्रोग्रामिंग इज नॉट द करेक्ट अप्रोच. आई थिंक ब्रेकफास्ट सर्च से मतलब आई कुड बी एबल टू सॉल्व इट प्रॉपर्ली. सो ओके,
Mhm.
the interviewer felt happy that okay he doesn't shy back to accept his mistakes, and he
Mhm.
moved on to a better solution. So interview में क्या होता है, एक बार हमारा thought process एक approach में लग गया ना, so it's very difficult to move on. So
Yep.
don't fall in love with any of the approaches. One first golden advice, ठीक है? So be ready to move on if the need requires. And then I was able to solve it properly. एक follow up question था, I was able to solve it properly as well. And I also communicated the time complexity and space complexity with clarity. So that interview was good, just that I messed up the first 10 minutes. That might have affected my rating a little bit down or more, I don't know. And then was the second interview. So उसमें
Okay.
heap based problem था. So first problem was very very trivial. I mean they just gave me an array and told me that search a number x, that's it. So but I mean that was not the catch. उसके बाद जो problem दिया वो heap से solve करना था, which was really difficult to proceed with. So I kept on brainstorming with the interviewer कि ये कर सकते हैं वो कर सकते हैं, talking about the edge cases and all of that. And almost 20-25 minutes I didn't write a single word for the code. So the interview was like that. ओके मे नॉट बी द मोस्ट ऑप्टिमल अप्रोच, बट मतलब कुछ कोडिंग तो शुरू कर, मैं हायरिंग कमेटी को क्या भेजूंगा करके. So I was like, that, मतलब ठीक है, I'm not feeling confident with my approach. That's why I'm keeping on brainstorming. And then मतलब 10 मिनट बचे थे इंटरव्यू के. So I was like, okay, I feel confident, and then I started coding up. और तब तो मतलब कैंपस में ही था, तो पेपर में कोड लिखना था, वैसा नहीं था गूगल डॉक में कोड लिखना है, ठीक है. सो पेपर में कोड लिख रहे थे, मतलब व्हाइट बोर्ड नहीं था तो पेपर में लिख रहे थे. सो पेपर में जल्दी जल्दी कोड किया, बीच बीच में मतलब इंटरव्यूअर केप्ट ऑन टेलिंग मी दैट मतलब आर यू टेक कंसिडरिंग दिस एज केस. So I was like that, okay, thanks for pointing me out, and I tried to incorporate that edge case. Some edge cases were pointed out by me as well कि मतलब ठीक है ये मिस हुआ, सॉरी करके फिर edge case ऐड कर दिया उसको. The important part is that यू शुड बी क्लियर इन योर थॉट्स, ठीक है, मतलब वो सॉल्व कर दिया था मैंने, फॉर योर इन्फॉर्मेशन वो सॉल्व हो गया था. सो द थिंग इज, इफ यू हैव क्लैरिटी इन योर माइंड कि क्या करना चाहते हो तुम, देन यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व इट इवन इन 10 मिनट्स, मतलब कोडिंग पार्ट, ठीक है.
Yeah.
एंड इंपॉर्टेंट टेक अवे फॉर मी वॉज दैट कीप एन एग्जाम्पल रेडी, सो दैट कुछ भी नया मतलब कोड ब्रांच ऐड कर रहे हो, इफ एल्स कंडीशन है, फॉर लूप है, व्हाइल लूप है, जस्ट ट्राई टू ड्राई रन दैट एज केस ऑन द पर्टिकुलर कोड दैट यू आर राइटिंग. सो दैट मतलब
Yeah.
जो इंटरव्यूअर पोक कर रहा था बीच बीच में कि मतलब ये गलत कर रहे हो तुम, ये मिस आउट कर रहे हो, दैट यू कैन फिगर इट आउट ऑन योर ओन. ओके, मेरे
Yeah.
पास तो टाइम कम था इसलिए वो एक्सक्यूज है मेरे पास, बट दैट शुड नॉट हैपन एज वेल, ठीक है.
That's true.
एंड
That's true.
कमिंग बैक टू द थर्ड इंटरव्यू, वो एक डेप्थ फर्स्ट सर्च का मतलब क्वेश्चन दिया था जो मैंने मतलब 15 मिनट में पहला सॉल्व कर दिया. फिर एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन दिया जो 5 मिनट में सॉल्व कर दिया, इंक्लूडिंग द कोडिंग पार्ट एंड टेस्टिंग पार्ट एंड वो सब करके. देन द इंटरव्यू वाज लाइक कि मेरे पास अब कोई क्वेश्चन तो है नहीं, तुम बताओ क्या करना चाहते हो तुम बाकी की 20 मिनट. सो आई वाज लाइक कि मतलब कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करते हैं जो आप गूगल में भी सॉल्व कर रहे हो, या इफ देयर इज एन ओपन एंडेड प्रॉब्लम, लेट्स ट्राई टू डिस्कस एंड सॉल्व इट. सो इंटरव्यू वाज लाइक कि चल एक प्रॉब्लम तो है मेरे पास जो मतलब उसका मेरे को भी श्योर आंसर नहीं पता है, बट लेट्स सी हाउ यू डील विद इट. सो मतलब दैट वर गुड 20 मिनट्स, लास्ट 20 मिनट्स ऑफ माई इंटरव्यू. आई मीन हम सिर्फ डिस्कस कर रहे थे ऐसे ही, गलत हुआ तो गलत, सही हुआ तो सही. देयर वर सम मिस्टेक्स दैट ही मेड दैट आई पॉइंटेड आउट. मे बी ही मेड दोस मिस्टेक्स डेलिबरेटली टू सी इफ आई वाज कम्युनिकेटिंग इट प्रॉपर्ली, आई डोंट नो. ओके, मुझे नहीं मालूम, बट दैट इज हाउ इट वाज अ वेरी कूल प्रोसेस. मतलब ऐसा है कि मैं मेरे फ्रेंड के साथ डिस्कस करूँ, ऐसा ही फील हो रहा था. सो दैट इज हाउ योर इंटरव्यू शुड फील लाइक, दैट यू आर डिस्कसिंग इट विथ योर फ्रेंड. और फिर
Yeah.
दे डिलीवर्ड मी द न्यूज एट 10 AM इन द मॉर्निंग के मतलब कांग्रेस भैया आप सेलेक्ट हो गए हो, एंड आई वाज ऑन क्लाउड 9.
Nice. And the last point you mentioned, right? The comfort part in the interview, right? It actually plays a very, very important role. Else you will be feeling very pressurized, right? And even though if you are on a right track, probably you can mess up with your solution or something like that. So first of all, really thanks, Anshul, for this detailed explanation about the interview process and how you should actually tackle that. I think it would have answered a lot of questions. So moving on to the next one, I'm just looking at the screen. Okay. So I think Shaf, your question is also answered. The step-by-step process, Anshul has already discussed about that. And we will be moving on to the next one. I think you can answer this one quickly, Anshul. Like, what is the most important aspect for getting into Google? Strong basics or some edge-cutting technology?
I mean,
Just
it
like in.
depends. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Google is surely working on some cutting edge technology around computer vision and all the Google Brain. If you've heard about and if you're curious about research and what all Google is doing, so if you have some strength in a cutting edge technology, then also that's a gateway to get into Google. And for me, I was not a master of anything, but I had strong basics, so that helped me gain like the pass into Google. But matlab, you can be a jack of all, a good jack of all, first of all, or you can be an expert in one thing. Like Google is looking to hire a lot, so
Yeah.
that can also like help you get into Google.
Great, great. Okay, so we have Mystery Guruji in between. Please suggest some courses for web development.
ये टेक्निकल गुरुजी तो नहीं है
What's
ना, मिस्त्री के नाम से आ रहे हैं.
I wish, I wish.
Yeah. So Udemy, I don't remember the course name, but it was by Jose Portilla. Udemy पे एक कोर्स किया था मैंने उनका, React.js, Node.js and Express.js पे था. And it is the one of the most highly rated courses on web development bootcamp, like beginner to advanced करके कुछ था उनका नाम. 2020 का था वो, by the way. So he would have updated the course by now. But that was the course I did. It was like amazing.
Okay, okay. Great. So let's check what we have next. Uh, All right, yeah, we can pick this one. I mean, it would be helpful for the college students. So, yes, Salve, I'm currently in third year and just started DSA last month. Will in 1.5 year, should I focus 6 to 8 months on DSA and rest of time in CP and development? Yeah, I think he's pretty much confused what he needs to do at the end.
Okay, so if you got started with DSA, continue your journey using LitCode, Interview Beat, and Geeks for Geeks and all those resources. No need to spend your time doing CP because, as I said, मतलब CP अगर शुरुआत मतलब you may feel demotivated and then you are like कि मतलब कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है करके. So don't go for CP right now till you feel you are comfortable with the DSA fundamentals. ठीक है,
Mhm.
मतलब if you get comfortable hearing the word graph and stacks and queues, then you can think कि मतलब just to get acquainted to the interview process, you can either try CP or try to get some mock interviews or anything which helps you. So DSA पे
Yeah.
focus करो अभी तो. LitCode, Geeks for Geeks, and Interview Beat are my go-to resources for this.
Mhm.
And I am assuming that you are in your third year, तो डेवलपमेंट वगैरह तुमने किया होगा. So just continue doing the good work. Open source है, hackathons है और self development मतलब self technological development मतलब जो भी तुम करना चाहो, just continue that journey.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Great. Uh, and I think your last point was really correct, and even I did the same mistake first time. Like, I was just introduced to this DSA part, and I was looking at the people around me who were really good at the competitive programming side, and I just quickly jump onto the code shift, and trust me, like within a 5 minute I was so demotivated, I just shut it down and just भाई वापस चलते हैं अपने बस का नहीं है. So the point Anshul actually emphasized on that, first just be good at your basics, I mean related to your DSA, then move on to the CP part. That would be more helpful actually. And NP world question is, can a BSc student with Google with good skills join Google? And definitely NP. I mean, I think for this one I'm the good example. I'm also BSc CS and then did the MCA part, right? So yeah, right now I'm working at Amazon. So you never know. Future probably you can see me in the Google as well. So like I have covered my journey, right? So I definitely feel that it is doable. You just actually need the right track. I mean, when I was in my BSc, like first year, second year, I was completely off track. I didn't even had any kind of idea about my future. But in third year, I planned for NIMSET exam and cracked it with a good rank. Got NIT Allahabad, started my MCA there, and that's how I actually just picked that correct path from like NITs to moving into the IT industry. So that's how you actually need to plan. But even if you want to move into the IT industry after the BSc, it is also doable. I have seen a lot of people who just based on their skills, let's say open source, good programming, computer programming skills, they actually made into the good companies just after the BSc. So it's definitely doable. All right, moving on to the next question. I think Gurpreet's question is also answered. I'm just looking at. Let me see what the question is. Arun SKS. I'm 2020 passed out, but still unemployed. Now I'm planning to learn DSA. I'm thinking to join any of the boot camps or coaching center because I don't want to waste time hereafter. What's your suggestion? I mean, I think yeah, it's 2020 passed out and probably didn't get the job, and just want to think he is actually thinking to join any kind of boot camp and coachings for the DSA. So, what would be your opinion, Anshul? Like, what do you think? Even I'm not sure for the answer.
I mean, what usually I see is that there is lack of discipline when we try to do self-learning. Matlab, self-learning is not a bad option, Arun. First of all, if you have the
Yeah,
willpower, which I surely don't have, okay, man, I can't do self-learning consistently for a long time. So if you have the willpower and you think you can do it, then I think there are sufficient resources online. Matlab, DSA is not a great deal which needs to be overhyped. मतलब उसके लिए boot camp और मतलब ऐसा कुछ जरूरत नहीं है कोचिंग सेंटर की. You can surely do. बट बूट कैंप और कोचिंग सेंटर से क्या फायदा होता है, देयर आर अदर पीपल आल्सो डूइंग अलोंग विथ यू. सो मतलब थोड़ा सा पीयर प्रेशर बोलो या मोटिवेशन बोलो, सो देयर इज
yeah,
अ हर्ड इन विच यू आर देयर एंड इट गिव्स यू अ मोटिवेशन एंड इंस्पिरेशन कि चलो मतलब ये लोग भी कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी साथ में करता हूँ. सो दैट हेल्प्स टू ईज द पेन आउट. So I
yeah,
would definitely suggest if you go for a affordable good boot camp, then definitely that should be your go to ahead.
yep, yep. That's true. Oh, correct. So moving on to the next question, and so far, guys, if you are just liking all the suggestions from Anshul, make sure to like this video or stream for better reach, so that more and more people can just get benefited from it. Uh, okay, so question from Anuridh. He's saying like, sir, my second year just started, and I started coding on GFG, and I want to work in Google. So can I continue with GFG, or I'm required to do CP? I think for the
So
CP part, you already explained its importance and how it can help. But yeah, thinking or working with the GFG part in mastering the coding side, what's your thought on that, Anshul?
right. So first of all, as Shashank said, you're not required to do CP, okay? And continuing with GFG, I mean, coded a lot on GFG, but matlab, how I used GFG was that I saw a problem, I'm not able to solve it, so I used to surf it up on GFG. कि मतलब चलो ठीक है DFS कैसे करते हैं, okay? So there
Mhm.
will be multiple approaches of doing DFS. कि मतलब एक adjacency metric से किया, एक adjacency list से किया, and what are the time complexity trade-offs, what are the space complexity trade-offs. So वो चीज understand करने में GFG has been my teacher, okay, through and through. So to
Yeah.
understand what are the different approaches, क्या कर सकते हैं and all of that. So I used that for GFG. I used to code on lit code and interview bit, and I used to do CP as well. But
Okay.
I mean, since you are in your second year, I think it would be good. I mean, if you are already familiar with development and whatever you love, like it can be ML or anything. But if you have already jumped onto that bandwagon, then I think it is a good time to join CP as well. I mean, it will help you definitely.
Great. Yep. All right. Moving on to the next question. So we have from Shubham Modi. He's asking, how did you master DSA? Yes, Anshul, tell me. I just want to know all the secrets from you.
I didn't master DSA. Okay, first of all, I mean, see, I will tell you my internship story. So internship में क्या होता था कि I was able to crack all the coding rounds, ठीक है, and I was not able to crack the technical interviews. So
Okay.
one can say that I was good at DSA, and you can say I was bad at DSA as well at the same time. Okay. सो द फैक्ट वाज दैट कि डीएसए मास्टर करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, ठीक है? जैसे मतलब कम्युनिकेशन इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट, इवन इफ यू डोंट मास्टर डीएसए एंड यू आर एबल टू कम्युनिकेट योर थॉट्स प्रॉपर्ली, मतलब हाउ डू यू थिंक थ्रू अ प्रॉब्लम, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. मास्टर
Yeah.
डीएसए करने की जरूरत नहीं, मतलब यू नो हाउ डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स वर्क, हाउ डिफरेंट डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स वर्क, ठीक है? मतलब स्टैक्स है, क्यूज है, हीप्स है, ये है, वो है, सब तुम्हें मालूम है कैसे काम करता है, एंड यू नो ऑल दी एल्गोरिथम्स. नॉट सेइंग अबाउट
Mhm.
मास्टरिंग पार्ट, तुम्हें पता है डायस्ट्रा कैसे चलता है, तुम्हें पता है बेलमैन फोर्ड कैसे चलता है, ये वो सब कुछ मालूम है तुम्हें, ठीक है? सो यू जस्ट नीड टू प्ले अराउंड विद इट, मतलब हाउ यू थिंक थ्रू कि मतलब ये प्रॉब्लम क्यों करनी है, ये अप्रोच क्यों करना है, कीप ऑन क्वेश्चनिंग योरसेल्फ वाला एटीट्यूड एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो उससे अपने आप ही मास्टरी आ जाती है. द मोर यू
Mhm.
क्वेश्चन योरसेल्फ कि ये क्यों नहीं. सो नॉट जस्ट डीएसए, ठीक है, इट कैन बी अबाउट कुकिंग एज वेल. सो कीप क्वेश्चनिंग योरसेल्फ एंड विद दैट एटीट्यूड डीएसए सब कुछ क्रैक हो जाएगा लाइफ में, श्योर.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I think that is the great suggestion from you, Anshul. And I think one have not sure if her question is answered in the previous one. So Morakshi Banerjee, sorry if I just pronounced it incorrectly. What was your roadmap for preparation? I think for the DSA and all these things you actually explained. So did you also do something on the development side, Anshul, and that
Okay.
which actually help you to crack any of the interviews?
आई मीन नॉट एग्जैक्टली समथिंग दैट हेल्प मी क्रैक द इंटरव्यूज, बट मतलब मैं शॉर्ट में मेरे 4 साल की स्टोरी खत्म करता हूँ, ठीक है? फर्स्ट ईयर आई केम इन, गॉट ओवरवेल्म्ड एंड मेस्ड अप, ठीक है? सो आई चोज टू फोकस ऑन माई एकेडमिक्स के मतलब बाहर जो भी मतलब नॉइस चल रहा है उसको बंद कर दो और एकेडमिक्स पे फोकस करो, ठीक है? सो that like prohibited me from experimenting a lot of things because I was narrow minded at that time. बट साथ ही साथ मतलब आई गॉट इनटू पीयर प्रेशर, फिर थोड़ा थोड़ा सीपी शुरू किया फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में ही, एंड आई लाइक
Mhm.
इट. मतलब रेटिंग बढ़ रही थी तो अच्छा लग रहा था, कम होती तो मतलब वो भी बंद हो जाता फिर. तो वो मजा आया उसमें, ठीक है? सीपी तब शुरू किया, एंड असाइनमेंट वगैरह मतलब सब सॉल्व हो रही थी, लोग आते थे सॉल्यूशन ढूंढने के लिए कि मतलब अंशुल आपने कैसे सॉल्व किया, तुमने कैसे सॉल्व किया करके, तो अच्छा लगता था वो. देन आई सॉ दैट ओके पीपल आर डूइंग वेब डेवलपमेंट आल्सो, जीसॉक क्रैक कर रहे हैं यार फर्स्ट ईयर में, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो सिर्फ सीपी कर रहा हूँ. तो मैंने सोचा चलो जीसॉक क्रैक करते हैं, मतलब हुई नहीं है क्रैक और करने का सोचा भी नहीं है आगे जाके, बट वेब डेवलपमेंट शुरू किया फिर, मतलब फ्लास्क किया, जेंगो किया, ये किया वो किया, and I tried to create cool applications as well. So that helped me gain confidence. उससे मेरे को इंटरव्यू में कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा है, ठीक है, but that helped me gain confidence, और शायद it may have increased my score on resume as well. I don't know, but देन सेकेंड ईयर से मैंने कंटिन्यू किया, जो भी कोर्स हो रहे हैं उसमें एक्सपेरिमेंट करता जाता हूँ मैं, नई नई चीज़ें वो सब चल रहे हैं। सेकेंड ईयर में कंसिस्टेंटली मैं एकेडमिक्स, वेब डेवलपमेंट, सीपी सब कर रहा हूँ, सब कचरा
Okay.
मिक्स हो रहा है, ठीक है। और थर्ड ईयर में जाके मेरी स्प्रिंग छूटती है कि अब बहुत हो गया यार, एकेडमिक्स एकेडमिक्स कॉलेज तो ऐसे ही चली जाएगी, 2 साल तो चले गए। सो I started, I was always fascinated by data science, the wonders that it
Mhm.
can create, machine learning and all of that. So I took a course, I started working with a professor on some research projects and all of that. अच्छा लगा, वो भी अच्छा लगा, but I was not sure about the research part. So I was not like too focused on पेपर निकालना है करके, पेटेंट करनी है वो सब करके. I just kept on focusing on the work which I loved. So वो कर रहा था, ML, data science and all of that. फॉर्चुनेटली 2 पेपर छप गए, फिर एडोबी में इंटर्नशिप लगी, तब पेटेंट लग गई, विच आई डिडंट एक्सपेक्ट। सो दैट इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट, रोड मैप में क्या होता है, यू एक्सपेक्ट सर्टेन थिंग्स एट द एंड ऑफ द रोड।
Yeah.
सो आई डिडंट एक्सपेक्ट, मैंने कोई रोड मैप बना के नहीं चला था, आई जस्ट फॉलोड माई हार्ट। सो इफ यू फॉलो योर हार्ट एज वेल, इफ यू डू व्हाट यू लव, तो प्रिपरेशन करनी आसान हो जाती है। बट सिंस आई हैव वेंट दैट पाथ, आई कैन ओनली सजेस्ट यू दैट यू कैन डू दिस थिंग्स। ओके, सो सीपी करनी है तो करो, ठीक है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट कैन हेल्प यू डेफिनेटली, बट इफ इट ट्राइज टू लोअर योर कॉन्फिडेंस तो छोड़ दो, नहीं करनी है भाई, हमको सीपी नहीं करनी है, जय बजरंग, ठीक है।
Yeah.
तो फिर डीएसए पे फोकस करो, geeks for geeks करो, lit code करो, interview bit करो, try to get familiar with all those data structures and algorithms. That is sufficient for interview. और साथ ही साथ you are in EC, so I guess you would be doing something around signals and all of that. I'm not an expert in that side, but if you love that, continue doing that, because a lot of boundaries are blurred between ECE and CSE. रोबोटिक्स आ जाता है, वो सब आ जाता है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस भी आ जाता है, कई हद तक मशीन लर्निंग भी आता है। सो डू व्हाट यू लव, and that is going to pave the road for you, और फिर तुम मेरे को अपना रोड मैप बताना, and I will try to share it with my friends and followers.
Yeah. I mean, for the roadmap part, I really like your point. I mean, if you follow exact roadmap, you definitely expect something at the end. But if you follow your heart, you actually enjoy the things and whatever you are doing. And that's true. Even I felt it. I actually started CP, but just did it like somewhere 1 or 2% just to get familiar that in the placement rounds, how can I perform within the like 2 hours, how I will be solving the questions, just to get that feel and to get the feel of online coding platforms. I did that CP part. Apart from that, I all like most of the time I focus on my DSA like fundamentals, and I can definitely say just after my college I've been into like multiple interviews, but didn't again revise the things because the preparation I did during my college time, it actually helped, like because my fundamentals were really strong. Even now if someone is asking a question, I'm not saying that I can quickly solve it, but I can just come up with a good approach because I know when to use, where to use, and why to use, like for any of the data structures and algorithm. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Oh my God, we have lots of questions. Just looking at the good one.
We can take up
Yeah.
a controversy as well if you want.
Controversy, sang rat race. Yeah, I mean, look at that question, but I am not a big fan of talking about those topics. Mm, People actually know, like, they actually, the scene is right. Mm, let's give it. Okay, so we have a good question like Abhay Kaushik. This is really good question. How to switch from a product-based company to SD2 in Google? Non-dev role. Okay, product-based companies. How to switch from a product-based companies non-dev role? Okay, I think he's probably some sort of non-development kind of role to SD2 profile.
So I would just like a more clarity on this question, Abhay, if you can comment.
Yeah, that would
Non-dev, do
be
you mean is it support side, or non-dev is it mean like
Mhm.
you are in some program management or sales team or marketing or
Yeah.
something like that? I will try to answer both of them. Okay, never mind. मैं दोनों का ही बताता हूँ, ठीक है। सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग अगर उस साइड है like completely different vertical, then
Mhm.
I mean honestly sorry but I don't have an answer कि वहाँ से कैसे जा सकते हैं। I mean you can see रास्ता क्या है कि you can do an MS, you can do MS, ठीक है, मास्टर्स करके मतलब there is an easy way, मतलब that's what I feel is the easiest way of all the ways कि मतलब you did MS in CS or EC or data science or any of the relevant मतलब tech roles, और फिर वहां से मतलब you can directly jump onto the SDE2 या मतलब any particular role, मतलब not just Google, any of the companies. So that is
Yeah.
one way for that thing. If you are in support side, ठीक है, ये वाला रास्ता तो सभी के लिए एग्जिस्ट करता है, ठीक है, एमएस करके चले जाओ करके. So that is true for each and every thing, each and every like जो भी branches. But if you are in support role and if you don't want to pursue MS, then I mean there are lot of instances, मतलब QA भी हो गया, मतलब ठीक है, I if you think QA is also non dev तो मैं उसके लिए भी आंसर कर सकता हूँ. So QA है, support है, ये सब है, ठीक है. So there is a lot of thing that you can own up in your own way, मतलब जैसे QA है, a lot of our QAs invest their time trying to create great frameworks for testing and all of that, and so does our support team. How to treat the customers in a better way, कैसे कर सकते हैं, how to bridge the gap between end team and the client. So they
Yeah.
do a lot of development work as well, ठीक है. So अगर तुम कर सकते, is it, I don't know which company you are working in, but if it is possible in your company to try to get hands on certain development part which you can put it proudly on your resume, then I think with that मतलब DSA तो करना ही है, ठीक है, you are not getting into Google or any of the companies without doing DSA. So वो तो
Yeah.
साथ में करना ही है, और उसमें मतलब मास्टर ही नहीं तो मतलब एटलीस्ट गेट योर कॉन्फिडेंस हाई एंड देन यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर गूगल और एनी ऑफ द कंपनीज.
Yeah, I mean decent level to obviously maintain karna hi hai. So I think, yeah, I think you have definitely answered his question, like moving from the non-dev part. I definitely like this question, like Tejas Gautam, famous questions versus virtual lead code contest to master DSA. I think mastering DSA is something like you can call it like just making yourself good at the basics or the fundamentals of DSA. But yeah, question is good. Sometimes what happens, we feel okay. There is an online platform. We can just go and just short the questions based on the topic wise, company wise, prepare those questions, and we should be good. So what's your thought on that, like famous questions versus virtually code contest?
सो फेमस क्वेश्चन से प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है कि आपको इनको पूछता नहीं है, ठीक है, बिकॉज दे नो इट्स वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चन एज वेल, मतलब फेमस के साथ साथ कॉमन गोज हैंड टू हैंड, मतलब ठीक है.
Yeah.
और वर्चुअल कॉन्टेस्ट में क्या होता है कि मतलब देर इज अ मिक्सअप, मतलब एक मतलब ऐसे ही कुछ भी रैंडम मिक्सअप मिलता है तुमको एंड यू ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट. सो उससे कॉन्फिडेंस ज्यादा बढ़ता है. फेमस क्वेश्चंस में क्या होता है कि मतलब आई एम टेलिंग यू माई एक्सपीरियंस, ठीक है, तो मैं गीक्स फॉर गीक्स पे फेमस क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करता था फ्रॉम द गूगल आर्काइव्स. और फिर मतलब जब भी हम लोग डिस्कस करते थे, राइट, मतलब किसी का इंटरव्यू और इसको मैंने पूछता हूँ भाई मतलब तेरे को क्वेश्चंस कौन से पूछे थे करके. सो दैट यूज टू डिक्रीज माई कॉन्फिडेंस कि मतलब क्वेश्चन तो कम्प्लीटली अननोन है और इसका अप्रोच मेरे को 2-3 मिनट में तो सूझ ही नहीं रहा है. सो होता क्या है कि मतलब फेमस क्वेश्चन के साथ अवर अप्रोच बिकम्स नैरो माइंडेड, मतलब ठीक है कि मतलब लॉन्गेस्ट सबसीक्वेंस प्रॉब्लम है या कुछ भी है, मतलब ठीक है, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. सो उसके मतलब ऐसे रटे रटे से हो जाते हैं और उससे मूव ऑन करना थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. वी गेट स्टक ऑन टू दोज अप्रोचेस. तो वर्चुअल कॉन्टेस्ट करने से क्या होता है कि मतलब देयर इज अ मिक्सअप ऑफ डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच इट्स हाईली पॉसिबल दैट वो तुमने नहीं किए हैं. सो उससे एक एटीट्यूड भी तुम्हारा बिल्डअप होता है दैट यू आर रेडी टू फेस एन अननोन सिचुएशन एंड इट हेल्प्स यू इन एन इंटरव्यू एज वेल.
Yeah. Yep, that's correct. All right. So we have another, like most of the questions we have answered. I think this is a similar one. Himanshu Bora, like asking, like he's probably in the support role with 1 year of experience, and I think Anshul already answered it from like moving non-dev side to the dev side. So I think probably we have covered this one. Yes, Gupta, I am a fresher and I got offers from Persistent Systems 7.5 LPA and TCS Digital 7 LPA. यार सैलरी डिस्क्लोज नहीं करते हैं. Okay, just kidding. So which one should I choose? Sir, please help. I can definitely understand your situation. So Anshul, from your side, what should be the best strategy to choose good offer, good company if you have like multiple options? What's your thought?
So I think I mean let's add an option of Google as well. मतलब let's say Google भी मतलब similar salary दे रही है, ठीक है, मतलब Google 18 लाख दे रही है तो then it becomes a different thing. But let's say Google gives you 7 LP only. Are you going to choose Persistent Systems then or Google? I mean TCS को मतलब भूल जाते हैं क्योंकि it's मतलब 7 LP is less, ठीक है. So are you going to take Google or Persistent Systems, right? So you are highly probable to take Google even if it's paying you less for like मतलब dev role ही बोल रहा हूँ, support role है तो फिर कहानी अलग हो जाती है, ठीक है?
Hmm.
तो dev role है तो I would choose Google even if it's a lesser salary, because the thing is that I can experiment onto more things because it's a huge company where I can take on different projects of my choice. वहाँ पे मतलब if I want to move on from one team to the other, move on from one location to the other, and the work
Hmm.
life balance and all of that, I would definitely love the perks of Google in that sense. ठीक है,
Hmm.
but I have not been to Persistent, I have not been to TCS, so उस वजह से I don't think I am eligible to answer the question. बट कहानी फिर सेम आ जाती है, मतलब कंपनी का नाम भूल जाता है, ठीक है, एक्स कंपनी है, वाई कंपनी है, ए
Hmm.
सैलरी है, बी सैलरी है, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे तुम काम क्या वहां पे करते हो, तुम्हें पसंद आता है, and I think both of them will look wonderful on your resume if you want to switch on to a new company after 2-3 years.
Hmm.
बट इट डिपेंड्स, मतलब दोनों कंपनी में तुम काम क्या करते हो, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट, ठीक है? सो
Okay.
मतलब थिंक इट थ्रू, टॉक टू योर रिक्रूटर कि मतलब व्हाट टीम यू आर गोइंग टू ज्वाइन, जस्ट सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्ट कि मतलब ये काम तुम्हें पसंद है या नहीं है, एंड देन मेक अ
Mhm.
चॉइस.
Yeah. This point is really important. Even yes. So you actually need to know about your exact role and responsibility, because on that basis, and even in terms of CTC, I see very less difference, like just somewhere 50,000, right? So if you think like TCS, you will be getting good role and tech stack, so definitely go for it. It's definitely persistent. Uh, and we have one question from Rushikesh Puri. Hello, sir. What point in the resume makes it get shortlisted among thousands of applicants? So for this one, Rushikesh, few months back, I already covered one podcast video with Anshul where he talked about these things in a very detailed way, even including the important programs and different like interview process in the Google. So if let's say you any of the point you miss in this live stream, you can just watch that podcast on my YouTube channel with Anshul. I think he has given all the beautiful insight in that podcast, including this point like resume shortlisting. So we actually want to save time as well. We have just 13-14 minutes. So I'll quickly move on to the next questions. I'll be picking the good one. Uh, all right. Let me check. Okay, okay. Uh, Let me answer this one. Dipanshu Sharma, I'm doing my MCA from IGNU, distance learning. Does it matter for Google if my DS and Algo is good? No, it won't matter for them. I mean, because you are just cracking the company based on your skill. And as Anshul even mentioned, there are different backdoors to enter into the Google. And those backdoors are actually the challenges like the Kickstart and these kind of challenges, right? So if you do pretty well there, definitely you will get the interview call. Like they won't be thinking that you have done MCA from this and that. Okay, so mostly related to the placements and all, we have answered. If I'm just looking at the good one.
And I see one
Mm,
question which talks about difficulty of Google interview between
okay,
US and other countries.
okay. Probably, yeah, we can answer that one. I'm just trying to find that one where it is, because lots
Mithun
of
Ram, it's from Mithun.
Mithul. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, is Google interview level same in any country, or is it bit easy in US or other country? This is really good question, I would say. Yeah. Even
I
sometimes like
mean,
even I used to get confused when I think, okay, if I see the interview level in Indian companies, or I mean, let's say the office is in the India location, how they recruit and how other people recruit, and I have a different experience. Probably I'll just add my experience after Anshul's answer. Yep, go ahead, Anshul.
sure. Yeah. I mean, see, the expectations are same. मतलब if you are applying for SD2, for example, ठीक है, US में apply कर रहे हो या India में apply कर रहे हो, the rubric that is set for an interviewer is the same across all the locations,
Hmm.
and it's like same. मतलब we check onto the rubric कि क्या कैसे evaluate करना है, we know the rubric before we are going to take the interview. But the thing is that मतलब तुम, it's not comparing apple with oranges, because you know US is US and India is India. There are hell lot of more opportunities in US, because तुम देखो ही मतलब वहाँ पे मतलब almost on the every coast, on every coastal city, मतलब east coast and west coast there is a Google office. ठीक है।
Yeah.
और वहाँ पे तादाद काफी ज्यादा है एज कम्पेयर टू इंडिया, बैंगलोर और हैदराबाद की एडिशन भी कर लूँ तो भी इट्स गोइंग टू बी सराउंडिंग कुछ भी 5,000 के आसपास ही होगा। सो इट इज हार्डर टू गेट इन टू इंडिया बिकॉज द नंबर ऑफ एप्लीकेंट्स अप्लाइंग फॉर इंडिया आर वेरी मच मोर as compared to those who are applying for US. It's a ratio कि how many jobs are there upon how many applicants are there. So उस हिसाब से getting into Google India उस sense में it's difficult, you know. But
Yep.
interview में more or less I don't see a lot of difficulty, if that makes it
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add my experience, because whenever, trust me, and please don't mind for it, whenever I have interviewed with people who are let's say belongs to the foreign countries or something, I definitely felt really comfortable with them, right? This is my personal experience. That's why I'm saying, please don't mind for that. It's just the personal experience. So, I mean, the way they actually ask the things and the way they actually discuss the thing, right? They actually puts you in a good comfort zone where you feel really confident. They even actually give you like some good hints as well, so that you can pick up the things. They always try to help you. And I mean, these things obviously all the interview try to do it, but I know, like, I just felt really comfortable with them. That's my like simple experience. Okay, I think we have one more good question. So Zad Sheikh, as a fresher with around 0 to 1 year of experience, how should I approach my system design skills, both LLD and HLD, for SD2 roles? So 1 year of experience would be considered for SD2 role, Anshul?
I mean, SD2 is the entry level role for Google. ठीक है।
Okay.
So 1 year experience, two and a half year experience is considered good for SD2 roles.
Okay.
But the thing is that system design के क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछे जाते हैं उसमें
All
गूगल
right.
के लिए, ठीक है। आई थिंक अमेजोन में आई हैव हर्ड माई फ्रेंड्स बीइंग आस्क्ड सिस्टम डिजाइन रोल्स कोई कोई सिचुएशन में, बट यूजुअली इट्स गोइंग टू बी एंट्री लेवल के लिए, राइट?
Mhm.
SD2 रोल इज एंट्री लेवल इन माई कंपनी, लाइक इन गूगल, in some other companies let's compare it with SD1. So वहाँ
Mhm.
पे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम्स ही यूजुअली पूछे जाते हैं। देयर आर
Mhm.
ओनली फ्यू कंपनीज, लाइक मेरे को डीशो में पूछे गए थे एक्सपेंसिव क्वेश्चंस, एलएलडी का पूछा, एचएलडी का पूछा, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का पूछा, नेटवर्किंग का पूछा, डेटाबेस का पूछा, सब कुछ पूछ ही लिया। 4 साल का 4 घंटे में उन्होंने मेरे को पूछ लिया था, ठीक है। सो देयर आर वेरी फ्यू कंपनीज व्हिच एक्सपेक्ट दिस एंड मोस्ट ऑफ दिस टॉप टेक जायंट्स फैंग बोल लो, ठीक है। सो दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू आस्क यू सिस्टम डिजाइन क्वेश्चंस फॉर एंट्री लेवल।
Okay. Okay. Great. Uh, okay. All right. So Gaurav Upadhyay, as I am doing BC and preparing for NIMSET only, can I crack company like Google and DirectI after I get good college for MCA? Yes, Gaurav. I think my and your story is quite similar. I also did my BSc CS and prepared for NIMSET. Then, like, cracked the NIMSET, got admitted in NIT Allahabad. So yeah, I mean, definitely you can do it if you crack like NITs. After that, you will be getting really good opportunities for sure. Even in my time in the campus placements, I uh, I appeared in the like written round of the DirectI and Amazon, but that time definitely I wasn't able to clear those written rounds. But if you like, if you work on your skills, DSA and all the fundamentals in the curriculum, you will definitely able to make it. Okay. This is also a good question. Is there any role in Google which did not require DSNL go?
Yes, sales and marketing would not require DSNL.
All right.
But
All right.
engineering, okay, jokes apart, not undermining any of the roles, okay, here, but telling you the truth, engineering में हर जगह पे DSL को पूछा जाएगा, even if it's Google research, you are going to be asked at least one round for DSNL go, because the
Yeah.
catch here is that they want to see your problem solving skills, ठीक है? They don't care if you know what queues are or what stacks are, but how good a problem solver you are, that is really important. And
Yeah.
currently, DSNL is one of the best ways to evaluate that.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. So we have the question. This is probably not how to prepare for interviews, Rupa. I think he actually answered all those things, right? So I think you should be good on that. Like he actually talked about his experience, what all things he was preparing. So that's what. So we have last 6 minutes. Let me pick one last question, and that would be the end of this live stream. And the last question is Janani. Okay, probably I won't be able to pronounce her last name. Um, Never mind. Is it difficult to change from service-based company to Google for data engineering role? Whoa! Finally, someone asked about my role. Oh, okay. So no, it won't be difficult at all. When I started my career with a service-based firm, right, and then slowly moved into the product-based company like Paytm, and then got a good exposure on the open source tech stack side for the data engineering, the cloud side, and those things actually helped me to crack companies like Amazon for a data engineering role. And yeah, I kept on getting interview calls for like from the big companies, like whether it is Google, Microsoft, Airbnb, Uber, many more. But since I'm enjoying my role here, I'm probably not looking for any sort of change. So yep, having a right skill set is important. If you have some sort of experience, like working experience, so focus on that, and yes, you will be able to crack it. Cool. So, any last minute good question, guys? I just want to utilize last 3 4 minutes. Any not related to tech things, right? Any interesting question for Anshul if you want to ask? Don't ask that whether he's single or committed, but any other good question. Okay. Oh, I'm just saying ask about Anshul, not about me. So someone actually asked
बता दो,
Mr. Yeah,
बता दो.
what is your age? I'll ask you guys to guess this part. Now, what do you think? What is my age? Okay, okay. Yep. Keep guessing, guys. Keep guessing. Probably I'll plan some swags in the next live stream. Whoever will give the correct answer. Do more live streams like this every week. Yes, I will definitely try my level best to schedule these kind of live streams on like weekly basis. Oh, who said this one? 56. Do I look like a 56? No,
The numbers are
no.
ranging from 24 to
20,
56.
yeah, 24 to 28. Yeah, that would be a good range. This is the correct answer, Mr. Expand. You already like answered the question itself. Yes, my correct age is 28. And 21st September is my date of birth. So yeah, I will be touching this like 28 part this 21st September. Yeah, you can wish me happy birthday in advance. All right. So yeah, Banshul, probably we will end up this session. Guys, please let me know in the comment as well. Like, did you like all the advices, and did you find this live stream really useful for you? And if you guys don't follow Anshul on LinkedIn, just check out his LinkedIn profile and do follow him there. He keeps on he keeps on sharing really good stuff about the tech part and everything. So you can follow him. And yeah, cool. Happy birthday. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, Anshul, any last minute advice? Just कुछ एक दो मोटिवेशन लाइन बोल दो यार, ऐसे कैसे लाइव स्ट्रीम एंड कर दें.
सो या मतलब मोटिवेशनल लाइंस में मैंने बीच बीच में मतलब आई थिंक मैंने मोटिवेशनल लाइंस बोली थी, बट इफ यू सी देयर इज नॉट मच टू लर्न फ्रॉम माय जर्नी. ठीक है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई एम नॉट समवन हु शुड बी अ रोल मॉडल, बट देयर आर अ फ्यू मिस्टेक्स दैट आई डिड, आई मीन दैट आई मेड, एंड आई थिंक दोज शुड बी लाइक role models for you or something to think upon. Try to experiment different things in life because life is short. Okay, first of all, and college is short, obviously. I mean 4 साल is less as compared to your life. Okay, so college उससे भी छोटी होती है. सो कोविड में तो मैं कुछ बोल नहीं सकता कि कॉलेज आप जा नहीं सकते हो, जिनकी कॉलेज स्टार्ट हो गई ट्राई टू एंजॉय. और मतलब एंजॉय का ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि लोग मतलब भूल गए कि मतलब जे दे दी अब खत्म कहानी. सो लर्निंग नेवर एंड्स. ओके,
Yeah.
I keep on learning even today. I mean, मैं मेरी एज नहीं बोलूंगा, but even Shashank Bhaiya is 28. He is still learning, and he will probably be learning till मतलब till the last day he is working at any of the companies. Okay, he is going to keep on learning. So
Yep.
never feel afraid to learn. And जो फर्स्ट स्टेप होता है ना कुछ भी चीज, मतलब आई जम्प्ड इनटू स्टॉक मार्केट, ठीक है। सो उसमें द फर्स्ट स्टेप वाज रियली डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी, मतलब मैंने जब पहले 1,000 रुपए इन्वेस्ट किए थे ना, इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, मतलब ये करे वो करे क्या करे, बहुत रिसर्च किया। सो फर्स्ट स्टेप इज रियली डिफिकल्ट, बट एक बार वो फर्स्ट स्टेप ले लिया ना, फिर प्रोसेस काफी स्मूदन अप हो जाती है। सो
Yep.
नेवर फील अफ्रेड टू पुट द फर्स्ट स्टेप, एंड ऑलवेज रिमेन पेशेंट। ठीक है, पेशेंट मतलब मैं हॉस्पिटल वाला पेशेंट नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब बी पेशेंट विथ लाइफ, क्योंकि मतलब कभी कभी आउट ऑफ द ब्लू कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी आ जाती है, इफ यू आर कंसिस्टेंट, इफ यू आर डिटर्मिन्ड। ठीक है, सो कीप ऑन वेटिंग फॉर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, कीप ऑन क्रिएटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज बाय बीइंग पेशेंट एंड डिटर्मिन्ड। सो या, वी हिट 1 hour.
Great,
That's it.
great. Thank you so much, Anshul, for joining. And I hope whatever you have shared, people would have found it really informative. And I always enjoy talking to you. Probably later time again, I will call you. I'll keep on calling you back. Right? Yes.
Let's go on to that.
Yes. Great. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining. That's it about this live stream. So just take care. Bye bye. Good night, guys. Thank you, Anshul.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.